Hello everyone, I'm SBV and this is my good friend Effect. We're going to showcase a game called ShootMania. And if you know ShootMania from the past, you might not understand what we're gonna do here. So we are not playing like PvP or anything, we're running a mode called Obstacle, and that's a custom mode made by the community. And we also have 4 custom maps made by the community, so this is going to be fun. So this is a movement-based solo mode, basically. And these maps are kind of hard, especially when we get to the 2 final maps. One missed rocket will pretty much just make us die, so hopefully this goes well. How are you feeling, Effect?
Doing fine. Ready
Nice.
for the run? You
Yeah.
as well?
I am. So this first map that we're gonna play is step-by-step from Oral and Switch, and it works kind of like as a tutorial map, so it's gonna explain us how to play this game essentially. So I think we're ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, let's do that then. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, never mind. There was this thing too. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
You forgot
Great.
about that menu.
Yeah, here we go.
So what's really important to know about ShootMania is that every action is done using the same key. So Ville is using his right mouse button to do things like sprinting, jumping, wall jumping, gliding, teleporting. All kinds of actions are done using the same key, and that can actually make things pretty hard. If he, for example, wants to combine a sprint with a jump, then he has to release the key and then after a while press the button again. So it's often can be pretty tricky as he has to do some combinations. This next section we actually lose our rockets, so we don't have any rockets here, and we have to focus on using our stamina as best as we can, as we have a stamina bar which is seen at the bottom center right. This one depletes when we use it for our actions, but mostly it depletes when using it for sprinting or gliding. So yeah, we don't have any rockets. So it's basically trying to not use it too much and try to get through the checkpoints. You actually get your stamina and also your rockets when you have some. You get those back when you respawn, but that's of course slower as we don't really want to stop at the checkpoints.
Yeah, it's faster sometimes. We're gonna see it in the later maps a little bit.
So we are almost done with this section. So a few wall jump combinations have to be performed.
Those are called power blocks, by the way. We're gonna see more of them later. They basically just enhance our jumps and wall jumps.
Now we teleport back, and we actually use a glide technique. So on this one we also use it. So what happens is when you use your action button in the air,
Nice.
when mid-air, then you will use a lot of stamina. But what happens is that you will generate a lot of forward momentum. So the speed that you have falling down will actually kind of convert to forward momentum, which is also doing right now. So it's a very nice technique, but it uses a lot of stamina, so you have to kind of be careful with that. On these checkpoints we have our rockets back, and we can use them to bump ourselves in all kinds of directions. For example, here we use it to keep our height, so we don't fall down, and we bump ourselves further to the next section.
Yeah, this next section is really fun. We get introduced to rocket wall jumps, which is this thing right here. So basically what it means is I shoot a rocket at the wall, and then I wall jump after, and it gives me like a enhanced wall jump, sort of. Also, this section has some of the hardest cuts of the map. First death. It's not gonna be the last. So don't worry if you missed that one. Trying to optimize this. Okay, let's see.
Going for a little cut.
Oops. This one is kind of difficult. Okay, we're actually gonna respawn here for rockets, and maybe the hardest cut of the map.
One that was recently discovered. Ooh, almost got it first try. Nice. That's unfortunate.
Close. Okay, I'll try like twice more.
So this bumper gives you momentum in a certain direction. Well, usually
I'll do it the
forward.
normal way. Don't want to get stuck there. That's really precise.
So this next section that we are coming up now is called the tri-wall section, but actually Ville is so fast that he doesn't really have to tri-wall. So tri-wall is normally where you have 3 walls and you use rocket wall jumps back and forth on the 3 walls. But as he's doing it really quick, he doesn't have to do that. We actually go for a little cut here, doing a corner jump, another technique. So a lot of special techniques that can be done. Here we actually use a tri-wall normally, so we go back and forth on the 3 walls to climb up. And then we go to the next section. So this is the second last section, actually has some interesting cuts.
Oh yeah, checkpoint 43 especially, and 44. 44 is maybe my favorite. Nobody goes for it, but I do. Oh nice, first try. Okay, and then... this one is really tough. Let's see. Okay. Well, no. Okay. Let me just... No, actually. Let me just do it the safe way. This is the safe way.
Nice.
By the way, this cut saves a magnificent half a second. So it's definitely worth it to throw world record runs on. Getting to the final section. By the way, we do have a donation incentive that's, I think, $135 out of 300 now. So that's gonna be a glitch showcase. 240, wow!
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, you can go ahead and read it.
Wowwowwoo66 donated $50.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So we are coming up till the end of the map, doing some more advanced techniques. For example, here we use the rockets to keep our height, shooting them on the pillars. But yeah, it's a really hard checkpoint. And then we're coming up to the last checkpoint, which is a long corridor, going back and forth on the 2 walls, so rocket wall jumping. And then climbing up the staircase, and that's going to be the end of the map.
Oh, teleport. Hello. Thank you. Not too bad.
Sub
then we
6,
get...
not bad.
Yeah, we get to menuing now. Next map is going to be Prove Yourself. It's also by Overall, and also the second mapper is Le Course this time. This map is kind of similar. We have 4 levels and they get progressively harder. Oops, okay.
That sometimes helps.
Yeah. Not a big deal. If we have any more donations, we could... Right. Okay. Okay. So... Yeah, first level, not too hard. There are always some optimizations that we go for. These maps are pretty optimized, I would say, all of them. The later maps, or the final map, mostly because you just don't have many options to do checkpoints. You just need to do them all perfectly, pretty much, to even make it through. But yeah, these earlier ones have some interesting optimizations.
So what we haven't told you guys yet is that, well, the maps are getting harder and harder, and well, in each map, usually the checkpoints get harder and harder. So this first level is still pretty easy, nothing too spectacular happening. Nice save.
Unexpected.
So we're almost done with the first section, going back to the spawn area and then using a different gate to bring us to the second section, level 2.
Yep. This second level mostly utilizes like different rocket wall jump combinations. Also flick away from walls sometimes to get a bit more speed and stuff. Stamina control is pretty important. Well, it's not that important now that I respawned already and got it back, but if you were to do this deathless, you would need to make compromises with stamina. Sometimes you would need to stop your sprint, just to make sure that you have enough to do all the tricks. That's a nice cut. Small optimization. You might have noticed that I try to land on checkpoints directly. This is actually because landing on metal, which checkpoints are made of, gives you a small speed boost. Power blocks that I mentioned earlier give a slightly better boost, so we try to use those when we can. Whoops, I'm missing a lot of wall jumps. They're sometimes a bit deceiving. They look a bit easier than they are often. So here we actually have a power block landing. There. You might have noticed a small speed boost. It's not like a big difference at all, but we go for small optimizations.
Actually going for a little cut here. So instead of doing a tri-wall, we use the corner jump here. It's faster and we also have enough rockets for that.
Barely.
Barely. So yeah, a tri-wall you can actually do it infinitely, even with limited amount of rockets, while a corner jump, if you want to do it infinitely, you need infinite rockets, which happens on some checkpoints, like for example this one.
Getting closer and closer to the first major cut in this map.
Which saves you about 8 seconds or something?
I think it's more than 10. I'm not completely sure anymore. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. We have a big cut at the goal as well. I hope I can pull it off, but we'll see. Anyway, here's the cut I just mentioned. So instead of doing like a tri-wall section, we wall boost here. And we just go past it. Nice.
So we skip the whole tri-wall with that, and yeah, that saves you a lot of time. Just skipping the checkpoint basically by going around it. And then we go to the fourth section. So the checkpoints get harder and harder. So on this one we're actually going to use the tri-wall, so we're going to climb up. And then near the end we actually have one wall that is turning metal. So we have to use a corner jump to end that off. We have not mentioned it yet, but on metal surfaces or like on these fences, you cannot wall jump, only on the brick walls and the stone, well, the white stone walls. These are wall jumpable, as well as the power blocks.
This one is kind of tough. We need a pretty precise, everything.
That's good speeds.
Might work.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Very nice. First try. Coming up is 52, which is maybe my favorite cut of all time.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, let's see. Should work. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. So what I did there, I pre-fired my rocket wall jump rocket. Why I do that is because rockets regenerate 1 per second. And when I pre-fire that rocket, I essentially regenerate the rocket back before I get to that wall. So it basically gives us a free rocket for the rest of the checkpoint, which helps us do it a little bit faster. Oops, I lost count now.
That should be enough.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's more than enough.
Perfect. Another section where we have to shoot very precise on the pillars.
Yeah, this one is super annoying. Oops, can't even take the bumper.
Either you get it first try or you keep on making mistakes. But that's alright, all these checkpoints are really hard, so that sometimes happens.
Whoops, okay. Let's get through this. No aim. Oh, almost. That wasn't the wall jump.
You're getting there?
No, that one of the rockets was a little bit early. Oh, okay. This should work. Nice. Okay.
So here we actually use a special corner jump, using 2 rockets for each wall, as there is no corner, so you have to kind of get the distance. And have to use 2 rockets. Some more combinational stuff. And then we're going to the second last checkpoint. Combination of rocket wall jumps and flicks. Oh, nice first try. That's
Very good.
And then we have
Yeah, then we have the goal cut, which I'll probably not get. I give it like 5% chance.
but it saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, it saves like 8 seconds.
So we're gonna go for it, of course.
I'm gonna go for it, but there's a good backup if I don't make it, so it's fine.
Good luck.
Thank you. So we set up here. Oh, that was so close. That final rocket wall jump is super precise. Your wall jumps are always based on your feet. Oops, okay, that wasn't good. So yeah, that's kind of rough. Your feet just barely touch the wall there, so it can be hard to get right. Okay.
Nice. Okay, that's the second map done.
GG. Yep. Now we can get to the hard stuff. Next one is going to be Fate Improvises by Hero. Shout out to him, he's probably in chat. Everyone say hello to Hero. This is a different kind of a map. It's more of a survival challenge, came out in 2015 I believe. And it's one monster of a map. I do have quite a bit of experience in this one, so let's see how it goes. The first 2 minutes are actually pretty tough. There's like some special optimization on every checkpoint pretty much. You're gonna see us respawn a lot more on this map, and again that's because we want our rockets and stamina back, and sometimes it's just faster than to wait for them.
You've also noticed that some of these checkpoints, if you respawn on them, you kind of, well, look in the wrong direction. So it's also part of learning the map by remembering where you actually look at when you respawn. So kind of getting the muscle memory to do a turn left or a turn right, depending on how the respawn happens. I actually have some off-zone here.
Yeah, we do have off-zone. I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
Not yet.
So this blue thing on the ground and basically everywhere around us. Oh, I can probably save this. It's gonna take a while though.
Almost.
Yeah.
Nice.
Easiest game of my life. Yeah, this off-zone thing kills us, so we don't want to touch that too much. Preferably never.
We're coming up to the first cut, which saves you quite a bit of time and is also a bit more consistent, as you normally have to jump on these fences, metal fences. It's looking good. Nice. First try.
I noticed something that might be a problem later. I think the textures are a bit different because the mod is missing. So there's a mod in this map. And now I don't have visual cues for some things. So yeah, good luck to me. There's only like 2 places where I need those anyway, so it should be fine. We'll see.
So these checkpoints, you can do them all in a row. You don't really have to respawn, as you usually have the angle to continue. But on this next one, we're gonna have to respawn.
Now we get to the first tunnel. So instead of levels, we kind of have these tunnels separating the different parts of the map. This is the first one, and after this tunnel things get a bit more complicated. Some rough checkpoints on this part. Some corner jumps.
We're getting to the first curved wall, which is sometimes a bit of an issue to wall jump on. But that's good.
It is. Next one is 25, which everyone hates, because I found a new optimization for it, and it saves like 15 seconds, so you kind of have to go for it. It's really hard. Oops, wow. this one.
So on 25, instead of using a tri-wall, you actually use a corner jump, climbing up.
First try, nice.
But the hardest thing about that corner jump is that you have to kind of use a slower interval, and that is making it a bit strange to most players.
It's very uncomfortable to do. I think most people try it once and then never again. Because it looks like a normal corner jump, but it's really not. Next difficult one will be 31. Now I don't have the visual cues, I guess, so...
You have the muscle memory, so you should be fine.
Yeah, I think... Let's see.
So 31 actually has, again, a very, well, specific setup. Shooting a rocket here, wall jumping, rocket wall jumping here, and then shooting some rockets on some specific parts of the wall. But because Ville now doesn't have any visual cue on these walls, it's a bit harder because... nice
save.
Very nice.
We made it work.
So the hard thing about that checkpoint is that you have to get under the fence, but still have enough height to make it to the platform. And so Ville uses this setup by making use of normally some shadows on the wall to know where he has to shoot his rockets.
Oops. That was weird. There we go.
And we're coming up to the next tunnel very soon.
Oh. This checkpoint is kind of precise. You need to take the bumper. You see that I take it pretty slow. It's because this flick and the strafe in the very first part there, those are like super difficult to get right. But yeah, we're on 37, and this tunnel is painful. Not because we need to do it once, but if we die, we need to do it again, so...
So basically, if you make a mistake here and you fall in the off zone, you die, and yeah, you have to respawn before the tunnel. So that's usually a run killer if you. Nice, getting it first try. That's good.
That is very good because it costs like 30 seconds if I fail that. Oops, that wasn't a good turn.
So there is actually later in the map checkpoint 45. Which even has a longer, is a longer checkpoint. There is a section before the tunnel, and then you have to do the whole tunnel section. And then after the tunnel, there is another part that you have to perform. So it's even a worse run killer.
Yeah. Here we do a corner jump into an backwards escalator jump. And if that sounds complicated, then that's probably because it is. So, Effect, good luck. I'll give you the escalator jump explanation role here.
So the escalator jump allows you to keep on wall jumping or rocket wall jumping on the same wall over and over again. It requires you to do this specific setup, usually using a corner. And yeah, it's really nice because you can just keep on wall jumping on the same wall. And we're gonna see it very soon because checkpoint 45 starts with that.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna be enough. This one can be tough sometimes.
To get some good flicks here.
Might work.
Should be
yeah,
nice. Okay. So we need a specific setup for this, and then we can keep on wall jumping on the same wall over and over again. Very nice. And then we have another tunnel section. So we still haven't hit the next checkpoint. So if we make a mistake here, then yeah, we have to do the escalator jump again.
I'm running out of stamina, so it doesn't really matter what I do in the tunnel.
Another really hard section where you can die in off zone. Especially for newer players, this can be really hard.
It's really scary because you need to do everything again. Like getting to the first actual fence jump checkpoint. Okay. Yeah, so these fence jumps are actually pretty hard. I'll get to them later. Now we're getting to the maybe second hardest cuts on the map. This one.
Requires you to have a specific setup, because you have to get under the fence, and then you have to use the rest of your rockets to get up again. And well, it looks... Well, it's way harder than it looks. There can be a lot of
Nice.
things going wrong. Okay, that's still good.
Yeah, there's like 5 different things that can go wrong on that checkpoint.
Another tunnel section.
Yep. Getting to the final part of the map. This would be my final split if I were to run with live split.
Soon we're coming up to another small cut.
Yeah, it's a half a second cut that's absolutely painful. So here in the next one we have a fence jump, and you need to be like standing exactly on the fence to get a fence jump off. Oops, okay, I'm gonna show it again. So this is what sometimes happens. What happens here exactly is that I don't land exactly on the fence, I land a bit below, which can... Whoops, okay, let's get through this.
So you have to also be very careful for well, not hitting the off zone,
Nice.
as that will kill you.
Yeah.
Doing this checkpoint normally, climbing up.
Yeah, so yeah, to continue where I left off. Basically I land a little bit below the fence, so I need to use stamina to climb on top of it, and when I'm on top of it I have a small time window to actually do the jump. So I need to be really careful with my timings there. That's really the hardest part of that checkpoint. Can we wait until the end of this map? We have a couple hard sections coming up. Next one is this 58.
So 58, again we have to use the, well, we use the escalator jump, so using a specific setup, and then we actually do it backwards to generate more speeds.
First try.
And that's done.
And then we have the hardest checkpoint on the map.
We have a tower, actually a Casey tower, but we don't really use any, well, we don't really use the ShootMania Casey technique, because Ville just uses some cuts. So he goes back and forth between the tower itself and a wall. And,
First try.
Nice.
That was very smooth. Very good. So yeah, if you have donations now, you could read those.
Goz donated $30. Let's go, Ville. Have fun for the run. And kiss to effect.
Thanks, Goals.
Thanks, guys.
Jarlan donated $5. Hey, Ville, heard you had some inconveniences with the trip. Glad you made it and good luck with the run.
Indeed I did, but now I'm here. Everything's fine.
Hike donated $50. Sub 10 all riot.
Sub 10 is not happening because we're already at 12 minutes, I'm sorry. We're getting to the end of the map though. You can save this one if you do that. This is still a third place run, by the way, so it's not bad. Now, be amazed by this beauty of this final checkpoint. It's absolutely incredible. If you're wondering why I'm taking this weird line here, it's actually because this is also an invisible maze. So I just need to memorize what's happening there.
I see what you did there. Amazing.
It is. That's Fate Improvises. Next map, final map, it's going to be Polar Improvises. And this one is the toughest map. It's made actually by myself, so it would be very embarrassing to choke on this, but let's see what happens. So yeah, this is another Improvises style map, so it's going to be kind of similar to what you just saw. But yeah, it's very tough, especially at the later checkpoints. So whereas in Fate Improvises we kind of optimize and cut checkpoints, and that's the reason why it's hard. On this map, everything just needs to be perfect to even pass a checkpoint. So there's always a specific rocket setup for pretty much each, more or less each checkpoint. And if I miss a single rocket, I'm gonna die. So yeah, or a wall jump. So we have some cool techniques. This one is called Namse jump.
So this Namse jump basically works like if you use a rocket to bump yourself, get a lot of initial speeds, and then you jump after it. So you eventually get a lot of speeds in a certain direction. Can be really useful if you want to switch directions really quick. There's actually a few checkpoints on this map that focus on this technique. We come to that very soon.
Yep. Checkpoint 14 will be that. Oh, I could go for the corner jump. Nice.
Ooh, nice.
I never get that. That's what they call marathon luck, I guess. So yeah, after this one, we're gonna get to the Namse jump section.
We kind of have to dodge the off zone here. But we now pick up a special item, this purple one, which is a off-zone shield. And this allows us to go through off-zone, and that's a way for mappers to make a checkpoint on a timer. So we have only 2 seconds left, and we go through this off-zone nicely. And that's the first section, the first chapter of this map done.
Alright, second chapter. Focus, was it called? I don't remember. I don't remember my own map, I'm sorry. I know the checkpoints though, and these are harder than what we saw before. So, yeah, checkpoints get longer, they get more difficult. Should be fine for the most part on this chapter.
Nice.
Checkpoint 21 will be the first maybe problem on this map. It's a very precise rocket jump. Coming up after this. Here we actually have unlimited stamina. We're gonna see some nice special checkpoints later, but no, 21.
So here we utilize the rocket wall jump together with a flick, with a roof bump, and then also a glide to get, well, to maximize our speed and get through the next platform. It's really important to use a roof bump, so shooting a rocket above you and then doing a glide,
Flicking
which
a bit
will give you a lot of speed. Looks good.
Yeah, the rocket jump is the real problem here.
To kind of shoot it a bit in front as you have a lot of speed.
Might work. Yeah, it should work.
That looks good. Nice.
By the way, that's about the best landing you can get on this checkpoint, so yeah, it's pretty calculated. We could take some donations, yeah, sure.
Urenstein donated $15. Control, focus and determination. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little map. But SBVille accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction.
Damn. He's referring to the final chapter, I believe.
We'll have to explain that.
We'll have to explain that a little bit later.
But here we have another checkpoint on a timer. We pick up an off-zone shield, because at the end we have another off-zone we have to get through in time.
I might not have time now.
2, 1.
Oh,
Oh, that was close.
Easy. Getting to a very fun checkpoint now.
Oh, this is always nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
So we use some rockets, we pre-fire them on these metal, and then that's
close, very close.
Unlucky. So basically we want to use these rockets to bump ourselves to get to the next platform. These are covered in off-zone, so if you land on them you will die.
Nice. Maybe I can chain this. Stamina is a little bit of a problem if you try to chain this. Nice. Very good.
And that's chapter 2 done.
Yep. Third chapter. This might be the hardest one. Especially these first 5 checkpoints and then the last 5 or so. These are very mechanically advanced.
The reason why people have troubles on these checkpoints is that they really push the limit in terms of rocket jumps, flicks. Even doing a backwards flick, that's really good.
That one can be really hard.
So it's all about timing, precision, and
That was a lot of heights. A little bit too good. You can actually roof bump that, but I never do because I'm not good enough, so I'm not used to doing that save.
Ooh, this next one is interesting.
This is just like precise inputs.
And you only are allowed to use 1 rockets for each rocket wall jump.
First try. Nice.
As you otherwise don't have that many rockets. Well, for the last part. Nice. Really good rocket wall jumps.
Of course, professional player. We're getting closer to 37, 38 and 39. Especially 39. Might take a while. If you want to take a nap at that point, I completely understand. Hopefully I get it fast. We're entering the stupid precise section of the map.
So you basically have to use all the space you have to make a good run up and get as much speed as possible. Nice first try, that's really good. Then this next one even harder. This is starting from one corner to the other corner, doing rocket jumps and getting around this corner. Nice first try.
Can we get?
Oh, this 39. Let's see.
No,
oh,
not quite. God damn it.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, we reached the incentive.
That's amazing.
We're gonna see some glitches a bit later. So now we're gonna get stuck on this checkpoint probably.
So, yeah, we have some time for some donations.
Yeah, if we have donations, now would be a great sign.
Smoke donated $20. Why is Effect the only one with a ShootMania shirt?
I don't have one. Yo, Nadia, can you hook me up? Send me a ShootMania shirt.
Paulister donated $10. Let's get that glitch showcase. Great run so far, SBVille.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually got through 39 pretty fast. I'm pretty happy with that performance. Getting to the final chapter now. Which can be hard. I mean, it's technically the hardest one. It's called Edistriction. Right here.
Damn.
We were kind of talking about this earlier.
Yes.
Shout out to Orangestein. So, I was really tired at this point. Turns out making maps is very exhausting. So I was out of ideas for both checkpoints and also like chapter names. So I was asking my chat for the final chapter name. And Orangestein came up with Destruction. Unfortunately he misspelled it horribly, so now it's Edistriction. In some weird way I think it's still pretty fitting.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Here we had another corner jump without the corner. Using 2 rockets and then transitioning into a tri-wall with some corner jumps as well.
Okay.
With this next one we're actually going to do a little cut that was discovered by me and also Mao. Saves you a bit, well, 1 or 2 seconds. And also is, I would say, more consistent to do it, as a normal way is a pretty tricky technique that you have to use.
Yeah.
Here we have a funny tri-wall, very short sidewalls. But we're coming up to a section where we are going to be limited in terms of rockets. So this one we have to rely on our good old manual jump. We cannot do any rocket jumps, so this is really tight. And this next one we actually get the rockets.
This one can be really hard. So we only have 2 rockets. We don't have any regeneration in this checkpoint. Which means we don't have rockets for this final part. Which means it's very difficult. This should work.
Oh, yeah, still nice. I was a bit afraid because you lost a bit of speed.
Yeah, you can do it from like, standing still as well. Here we have 10 rockets and no regeneration. Some very different ways that players used to do this checkpoint. I do it like that. That works. Getting closer to the KZ tower, so maybe you wanna talk about that a little bit.
So every Improvisus map, as this one is also called an Improvisus map, has a tower. But as Ville kind of cut the whole tower on the last map, he has, well, build a map which is not cuttable. I mean, a tower that is not cuttable. And so this ShootMania KZ jump is inspired from the Counter-Strike KZ. And it's needed to actually get around these corners. You have, this tower is basically a square, and you have to get around every corner. And this ShootMania KZ jump is basically a limited momentum jump. So you kind of want to have just the right amount of momentum to get around the corner. Because if you would just, let's say, if you just walk forward and you jump, you do kind of like a dash, and you will just overshoot the corner and not get around it nicely. But with this special technique, you use, you can get around it. And how you do it is by, walking a bit forward, and then you stop walking forward, and then you go for a jump, and then you can strafe however you want.
This is a very, very hard jump.
And it's actually used multiple times. So for example here, then another one. Nice.
Some top players have been stuck here for several hours. Okay, that was a save.
Nice save. Ooh, nice.
Oh, okay. Happens sometimes.
Still kind of saved it
Kind
by
of.
dropping
Yeah.
one level lower.
If something goes wrong, you just really need to focus on what you can do instead of trying to save it completely.
So it can also help to use your rockets, as this can help you a little bit to get over the edge. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Saved! I got to the second block. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. It's okay. We're just creating tension. If we have more donations, then that would be a good time.
TAC 195 donated $10. Keep going, villain effect.
Thanks, Tech.
Thank you.
Monk 9443 donated $25. Ain't no plane gonna stop us.
Yo.
PS, step by step, checkpoint 0 cut, when?
On world record attempts. On my stream afterwards. Oh, okay, this is turning to be a joke. That's very
We're
unfortunate.
almost there, so...
Yeah, there's nothing too crazy after this, so... Just need to clear this one. But it is very hard. Oops, okay. Almost misclicked restart. I don't know why I didn't disable it. That would be awkward.
Oh.
I don't think the estimate allows us to play the map from the beginning. Okay.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay, cool.
Okay, we're finally done with this tower. And we're almost at the end of the map. So in prophecies map, usually the tower is the run killer. And if you get past that, then it should be all fine.
These checkpoints are still hard, but they are, I've definitely choked runs on these ones, but yeah, they're not on the same level as the tower. Nice, that was very clean. So again, invisible maze, and we're at the end of the run. Here you can see your reward for completing this map. If you ever want to finish this map, this is your reward, so yeah, maybe don't bother. It is a fun map though, but that's time. Very nice, very nice. And now, because we met the incentive, we are going to also show the...
Some amazing glitches.
Yeah, the glitch showcase right here. So, let's do this. Glitch showcase. Here's the thing. 4 to 5 minutes probably. So, the theme of the map is that every checkpoint is impossible. You're gonna see what I mean. Let's start with this first one, right? So, we should get to that portal 1, and you know, there's this fence kinda in the way and stuff, but you could ask like, okay, why not just rocket wall jump? We've done crazier things on this run. Then you notice that we actually don't have any rockets on this checkpoint, so when I try to shoot, nothing happens. And this is a problem. So what do we actually do here? It's not like we can like fly or, you know, jump mid-air or something. Well, we kind of can. We kind of can, guys. So we're going to do something called a Mario jump. We have to get stuck on this wood. Oh, can take a couple tries. No, that wasn't quite it. Here we go. So now the game thinks, because we don't move, the game thinks we are still standing on ground, and very generously gives us a jump when we just fall down instead of jumping away from it. So that's very nice. That's called a Mario jump. Let's see what else we have.
Oh no, we cannot get through this.
Oh no, effects. What do we do? Is the map broken? What is wrong? Oh no, I think it's broken. Okay, let's try something. Let's try something. Oh, okay. We can do it without hands as well. That's a thing. If you want an explanation, then I'm sorry, I guess. Yeah, let's move on.
We do some ice skating.
Yeah. Next one. Okay, we already learned that off-zone kills us, so...
Horrible off-zone.
Yeah, this is very rough. So, how do we get through this? We can't really jump over, we can't like glitch below this block or anything. Well, good thing is that we can aim to this pixel, and we can just walk through. Because off-zone only kills you when it's covering you horizontally by over 50%, which is nice. So we can just go through like that. Here we just have like a room, 4 walls, and a lamp.
Oh no, we're
so
stuck.
We can't even see the portal. What do we actually do? We like go through walls like that? You can't do that in this game, right? Or can you? Oh, okay. Here we lose our rockets. Otherwise, this would be simple. Like we've seen crazier flicks, but you know. It's kind of tough. It's a bit too high. Luckily, we have this nice move called double wall jump. So we can, by pressing towards the wall in an accurate timing, we can just strafe back to the wall instantly and get our wall jump back. So here, this wall jump isn't enough, so we can luckily do the same thing but to the other way. So this is called a dash jump. Oh, a bit too low. There we go. So yeah, it's just pressing towards the other direction. And now, please pay attention.
The big
because
one.
Yes, you are about to earn your obstacle PhD right here. So we see the goal there. And we could start an escalator jump, right? But we quickly start noticing that we actually don't have enough rockets to do this. So we lose our rockets pretty early, and the goal is pretty high. What we can do here is a reverse dash escalator jump. So we start by doing kind of the double wall jump, but only half of it. We don't do the double wall jump, we only do the reverse dash like this. So we dash against the wall, then we rocket ourselves again, away from the wall, and then we start our escalator jump, and we can do something called an eco escalator jump, which allows us to skip every other rocket, which makes us have enough resources to get the goal. Let's see if I can do this. Oops, that wasn't the reverse dash. That was an escalator jump. This might not be enough. Oh yeah, I kinda lost the grip there. Okay, let's try again.
Very hard technique.
Yeah, if you want to start ShootMania, then I mean obstacle, then you shouldn't probably start with this technique. This looks better.
Yeah, really good grip. Sticking to the wall. We're gonna make it.
Yes,
Very nice.
There we go. That is the glitch showcase. I hope you enjoyed. So, thank you so much for watching, and Yeah, I have a couple of shoutouts. There's a bunch of people that have supported me or contributed to these maps. So I'm just gonna throw out a bunch of names. I'm sorry if I forget people. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna thank you personally after. So there's Smoke, Uhu, Mao, Missy, Gos,
Hero, Snigel.
yeah, Snigel, definitely, Hero, Aurel,
Just everyone from the
yeah,
community.
you for joining me here. Glad to have you here. Riolu, yeah, like there's a bunch of people. Sorry, I don't probably. Too many to name. But yeah, and thanks to Nadio and ESA as well for letting me showcase this. This is quite extra. This is quite amazing to get to showcase something like this. Like this isn't a real speedrun category or anything, so I'm glad to show you guys something like this. So, do you have any shoutouts?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like well, basically the same people, or well, the whole community that's behind this game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so that's it for us. Good luck to the next runners.
Yes. Bye-bye.